If we were to, so you said you're in London doing something, your
At
music.
the moment, no, at the
No,
moment
you
I'm in
will be.
Italy. I'm doing this thing in London in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to find you and come along and listen to your magic, how would we do that?
Just thank you. Just to look at my site, which is thefuckitlife.com. Thefuckitlife.com. And on there's a calendar. And on the calendar is all that we do, which is Fuck It retreats and then occasional things in London. And Gaia does things called Gaia's Magic stuff. So Gaia's Magic weeks or Gaia's Magic weekends. Because she's magic, Gaia is, so she does a lot of magic. But yeah, that's and on there we have news about what we're doing or new books and things coming up. But it's exciting. I mean, it's an exciting life. It's just that most of us are kind of quite scared, especially now. I mean, everything around us tells us that we should stay where we are, really, doesn't it?
Definitely.
At the moment,
Yeah, I see a lot of that. It's perceived security with, particularly with jobs, pension, blah, blah, and it's not real. And I once you can name the fear, I think you realise what it is, but there's a lot of defensiveness.
yes, yes.
Someone once
And I
said
mean,
to me, living a fulfilled life is a radical act. And
yes.
you strike me as someone that's doing that.
Generally, yeah, but it's
Modestly, of course.
yeah. But we live quite radically in that we're happy to make changes when changes need to be made. I think it's keeping things moving that's really important.
Yeah.
And at the moment it's the times of austerity. I think you're interested in helping people out of jobs that they don't enjoy, I suppose, aren't you? Is that right?
Yeah, or even if they're in the jobs, to create the mindset that's empowered rather than disempowered. I've seen a lot of victimhood in workplaces.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's really cool because I think I kind of mentioned a little bit about manifestation, fuck it manifestation. And it is a big subject, but as far as I can tell from studying it and practicing it for years, the best way to manifest amazing things in our lives, and amazing things are whatever we want really, but amazing things can be amazing jobs, amazing relationships, amazing health, amazing wealth. Let's not ignore the fact that it can help sometimes to live in a nice house and have a good car and be financially stable or even completely financially independent. So manifestation is important. In fact, it might be the main thing. How do we manifest what we want in our lives? But a kind of key part of manifestation, it seems to me, which is often ignored, is exactly what you're talking about now, which is being absolutely okay with where you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of, okay, this is where I am now and that's fine. So there's a kind of paradox in it because you know that you want to get to somewhere else, but you need to also be okay with where you are now. And those seem like opposite things, but if you can do them both. So if I take my life at the moment, so I know that I'm thrashing it too much, I'm working too hard. And so I know that I'd like to be in a place where I was like 2 years ago, where I was working like 3 hours a day. And the rest of the day I was spending by the pool or meditating. So I'd like to be there again. But where I am at the moment and where I'm going to be for quite a while is working very, very hard. So I can hold those two things at exactly the same time because I know that I can move towards that. So
Exactly.
and that's what I work with. I work with kind of, okay, I don't take out of my mind that I'd like to be in a year's time in a different place in terms of hours that I work. But actually, this is really cool what I'm doing now, and it's actually really fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the idea. How can you accept where you are, but also have an idea of where you want to be?
Yeah.
And that seems then to create amazing things. Because the universe doesn't think you're sitting there moaning and pissed off with life. The universe kind of goes, oh, that's interesting. John's happy where he is, but he did tell me that he wanted to be somewhere else. So let me help him get somewhere else. And it kind of works like that. So it's like this thing of, of wanting something but not wanting it too much.
Yeah. Well, someone once said to me, I had a coach at the time when I was very unhappy in an organisation, and they said to me, you know, they showed me that I was like a child at the back of a classroom, and they just said to me, you know, you're the rebel who's just sitting there lobbing things at the blackboard and being smart, but you're using your smartness in the wrong way, and, you know, you're a victim. And it was like, oh, I don't want to be that, you know.
No.
And so that's why it drives me to just kind of help people who also have that thing.
Yeah. So you're helping people to kind of feel empowered within their job, and
Yeah.
then also sometimes to move out of it.
Exactly. So to create the freedom that you choose. You know, you drive. You know, you can keep trying to escape. So I have friends who will change jobs very regularly. And then create the same drama over and over again, and it's that whole thing of, well, you can actually, you know, once you're aware, you've got choice, you know.
Yeah.
And it was simply that with me. It was like, okay, I know that my behaviour is this, and the way that my thinking is making me behave that way, and it makes me feel like this. So what if I do it differently? And it was that, but I was completely ignorant to the fact that was going on for me. Sure. And that's why I think sometimes you need those kind of people that are really courageous and that kind of show you those uncomfortable pieces.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you need conscious people around you in those times, don't you?
Definitely.
I mean, it's interesting in those situations because it's true. In terms of work and relationships, people jump from one to another thinking that the way the solution is to get out of it, but then they end up in the same situation. So sometimes the most radical thing is to stay somewhere and try and work out how to work it out. Yeah.
And someone said to me, you know, what would love do? You know, what would, you know, some radical questions like that, and you think, I don't know. It probably wouldn't say fuck off like I'm saying to myself every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But that's that parenting thing, because, you know, we're talking about parenting.
Yeah.
So if we try and parent ourselves like we ideally would parent our kids, and it's not, as you know, with children, you can never kind of carry through what you want all the time. So not that I ever sit there and kind of go, you stupid idiot, I'd never say that, but in terms of saying you're doing really well, this is fantastic, you're doing so fantastic, that's the kind of message we need in our heads from ourselves as well. So that's the kind of self-parenting.
Definitely.
And because it's very, very easy, and I've done it enough times now to know that if I start to kind of go, oh, you idiot, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Another voice comes in to kind of go, no, that's fine. That's what happens. That's life. That's fine. You did really well. Look, how did you got here in the first place because you took some really big steps. That's part of the journey. So you can have this little dialogue going on.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of really gentle parental voice saying, no, you did really, really well. You know, you just tried your best. Just try your best. That's all that matters. I love you so much. You've got that voice going on. It's fantastic.
I was talking to a coach the other day, and she said on her interview that she'd done permission slips for herself, and she literally showed me one, you know, like where she'd drawn out permission to be imperfect today, you know, or whatever. Yeah. And I think, you know, however you do it, it's exactly what you're saying, that kind of self-nourishment rather than just kind of beat yourself.
No, we're so used to it. And what we would have done, the reason we do anything like beat ourselves up usually is because we internalized external voices. So whether it was our parents or whether it was a teacher or whether it was the whole school or whether it was the whole of society, people, and maybe everyone, has been telling us, you need to do this. Work harder in order to achieve. Yeah. You must pass your exams in order to get on. You need to go up the next step of the ladder. You need to get on that housing ladder. You need to do that in order to be happy. In order to be happy, you must. And it kind of drives us, and that's there behind us.
Yeah.
And the part of it is to kind of give up and kind of go, well, I'm absolutely fine as I am and where I am. That's cool.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I just did an accreditation in strength for Realise 2, which is a strengths assessment, because the statistics are something like 1 in 3 will actually be able to name their strengths. And in one of my learned behaviours, so the things that I can do well but they drain the hell out of me, was drive. Yeah. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's like I'd learned that the way to kind of get on was to push really hard and drive and strive and, you know, but then you get to that point where it's never enough. So it was just really interesting to be aware of, God, I can do it really well, but it really doesn't float my boat.
No. So if you can, because that's the way most of us are, is that we kind of push ourselves. The experiment to do is to take something that you want and then try in that situation to try less, really.
Yeah.
To kind of go, okay, if it doesn't work, I won't push it, and I'll see what the natural timing of it is. So the idea is that everything has its natural timing, and if you can just kind of slow down and listen to the natural timing, then it kind of works out. So in the end, you still get the same. You get what you want. It might be a bit later, but you get it. But you learn. I mean, because I'm the same. I have to learn this. You learn that actually I don't need to push as hard usually. Yes. In fact, often it's worse when I push.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just need to. Well, doing this challenge has been really interesting because it's taught me, you know, I get to use I love creativity. I love, you know, I've got no idea where this will go, but I am enjoying it, and it's so easy, so much easier, particularly when nice people like you say yes.
Oh, you're very sweet.
No, you're very sweet. Thank you. So thank you so much for all your time. I know you're really, really busy, and I'm really grateful.
I've got hours. Let's just carry on. I've got another hour and a half. What should we talk about next? You know, I've got nothing to do. Yeah, I was thinking, you know, the government at the moment, it's really hard work, isn't it? It's been lovely to talk.
Definitely.